Information alone is useless. Motivation lasts for about 10 seconds. It is going to get hard for you at some point. There's a big difference between doing your best versus doing what's required. It's about accepting complete responsibility. And the truth is, doing between 3 and 5 one-hour sessions with a trainer will only add up to about 3% of your week. So even if you, and I've seen this happen many times when people really want to get a powerful result, they go and sign up to a trainer 3 sessions a week for a whole year, but they get through the whole thing and they don't really take accountability, or they don't focus on their habits, their nutrition, and all the stuff that goes into true transformation, and they end up just going through the motions. So I want to save you as much time, as much heartache, as much stress as I possibly can, and always bring you back to what is the most important part of transformation. And yes, that is taking accountability. It is vital that you hold yourself to a higher standard of execution throughout your program. Let me tell you about Jenna. Jenna was a trainer who had a habit of always going back to doing the diets and the detoxes and the juicing, things like that. That was her history. She had done a lot of that in the past, and she wanted to break that cycle. So when she signed up with us, her goal, or her why, was to be a good role model for her clients. So she knew she could do another diet or a detox and lose a few kilos, but like always, once you finish doing it, it just comes back on. So she said to us, I want to set myself a blackmail. She came up with it herself. She gave us $4,000 cash, and she said, right, I'm going to give myself 6 months. I'm going to do this properly. I'm going to lose, I think it was like 6 kilos of body fat. I'm going to do it the healthy way. So I'm going to work on strength training, eating metabolically precise food. I'm not going to overtrain. I'm not going to diet. I'm not going to detox. I'm going to do this the healthy way. And if I don't, you can keep the money. Now, the reason why the money was so important is because she owed her mum money, and she couldn't really afford to pay her mum back. So by giving us the money, what happened then is if we kept that money, she wouldn't be able to pay her mum back. So this was really about not letting her mum down. She had just started her studio. Her mum had lent her money to buy the equipment. So she had a lot at stake here. So she actually documented her journey very publicly. She went through this, and I actually did her skin fold readings, because if a person diets or detoxes or juices, what happens is they do lose quite a lot of weight, but they don't necessarily lose fat. They just lose water and fluid, which is counted as lean mass inside the body. So if you do a person's skin fold readings, and then I do them again 6 months later, I can tell if she's been under eating on her food, because her lean mass would have dropped. So when I did her skin fold readings 6 months later, her lean mass was either the same or slightly higher, and she had dropped 6 kilos of body fat. So we were able to give her back that money. But understand that, yes, she lost body fat, but if she just did this to lose fat, it wouldn't have stuck. She didn't want to let her mum down. She had just started her business. She needed her clients to trust her. She had a cycle she needed to break. So the blackmail was the thing that she needed to keep her going. She documented it publicly as well, so her clients all knew that she was doing this. So she put herself in a position where quitting would have been more painful than going through with it. That's the key to a really good blackmail. Manda and Chris. Now, Manda and Chris did this really cool wedding blackmail. Manda ordered her wedding dress 6 months before her wedding, and she purposely ordered it 2 sizes too small. And she came and told us. So these people have all chosen their own blackmails. I don't think that I could blackmail anyone else effectively, because it has to be something that's really personal to the person. And I think if you feel like you're being blackmailed, it would probably have the opposite effect. Whereas Manda came to us and said, we're getting married in 6 months. I've ordered my dress. It's 2 sizes too small. I'm going to do this. And this is the funny thing about people, when they have something that they want, so they've chosen their goal, they've chosen the blackmail, it's something that scares them a little bit and excites them a lot. This is what happens. They don't need to be pushed. They don't need to be nitpicked at. People end up almost coaching themselves. So they have someone to be accountable to. They have a crew that's supporting them. So they have all the right things around them, but it's like they become unstoppable. And it's not because we've given them a special secret or we've given them a fancy program. It's because they have found a blackmail that suits them. So by the time Manda got married, that dress, she ended up actually having to have it taken in. So she started with it being 2 sizes too small. And by the time she got married, it was a little bit too big. So again, it was because she had found something that was personal to her. It excited her. It made her want to do all the stuff that she didn't want to do before, but she just kind of didn't have a goal or a deadline or a blackmail or any of those things in place. And this, I think, is the most powerful one. That's Joel, who's sitting in the wheelchair. He was in the Australian Army, and not long after he got out, he was at a friend's place, and it was just a freak accident. He took a step backwards and didn't realize there were some stairs behind him, and he fell backwards down some stairs and ended up a paraplegic. Rehab for someone in that state here in Australia is not as good as the rehab that you can get in America. So Dave and Matt, they were doing World's Toughest Mudder, and Matt decided that he wanted to raise money for Joel to get his rehab in America. So he set himself this goal to complete 80 miles at World's Toughest Mudder, and he raised money for it. And then he said that if he reached that 80-mile mark, he would match the money that he could give to Joel for the rehab. And it was when Matt was doing this event, he got to the 75-mile mark, and then he fell off the monkey bars into the water, and he dislocated his shoulder. And he said he was in so much pain that when he popped it back in, he basically vomited and shit himself, like in his wetsuit. He had 5 miles to go to get to his goal. He literally crawled the rest of the way. So this is after doing 24 hours non-stop through mud and rain and climbing over obstacles and in excruciating pain. But because he had made that promise to his friend, that was the thing that made him keep going at the end. So if he had just done Tough Mudder just for bragging rights or just for his own goals, once he dislocated his shoulder, he would have just stopped. Most people would have stopped then. But because he was doing it for someone else, someone he cared about. This is the key to a good blackmail. It's the thing that makes you do the work no matter how hard it gets. It's the thing that it's the thing that pulls you forward. So if you need someone to kick you in the butt, you probably haven't found the right blackmail yet. What you need is a good blackmail that pulls you forward. It's a fact that a level of accountability is essential. It needs to be uncomfortable. So the right blackmail will scare you a little bit. It will excite you a lot. But also, once you've set the blackmail, you know it's a good one where quitting would be more painful than actually going through the shit of achieving the goal. That's a good blackmail. Recording accurate data, being vulnerable, trusting your trainer. You could announce this publicly. You could document it if that's something that helps you stay on track. You can put pictures on social media. Now let me ask you, what's your level of accountability?